The big shock after qualifying at the Red Bull Ring on Saturday was the surprising lack of pace from Ferrari. While they've been downplaying their competitiveness ever since pre-season testing, there was a sense that there was a little bit of sandbagging going on, and once things got serious in qualifying, things wouldn't be so bad. Practice didn't indicate a whole lot, as up until last year, Ferrari would stay pretty quiet through Friday and Saturday morning before turning things up during qualifying. However, on this occasion, they weren't kidding. Sebastian Vettel failed to get through into Q3, while Charles Leclerc barely scraped in before ending up a pretty discouraged P7 at the end of the qualifying hour. Ferrari's team boss Mattia Binotto is pointing the finger squarely at the aerodynamics being lacking, and that the team will have an entirely new aero package ready to go for the Hungarian Grand Prix. But without the team being an absolutely calamitous design, it appears engine power is a far more likely culprit for Ferrari's sudden drop in pace. Their straight line speed was by far and away the best last year, allowing Charles Leclerc to take wins at Spa-Francorchamps and Monza, two of Formula 1's quickest circuits. But even a cursory look at the figures in Austria gives away that something has fundamentally changed since last year, the Red Bull Ring also being a power-hungry venue. Last year, Charles Leclerc was blasting through the speed trap at 325.7 km an hour and the fastest man in the field. This year, Ferrari are right at the bottom of the fastest speed charts. Vettel clocked the fastest speed trap figure with 313.2 km an hour, meaning he was third from bottom of the chart. Leclerc was even slower, hitting just 312.4 km an hour and in plumb last on the speed trap figures. That's around 12 km an hour slower than last year. Car speeds are also measured at the finishing line, which is handy at the Red Bull Ring as it indicates how quickly the car has accelerated back up to speed coming out of the last corner. Last year, Ferrari led the way with 297.1 km an hour as they accelerated out of turn 12. This year, that's only 287.7. That's almost 10 km an hour slower, meaning the car itself is either running the aerodynamics of a concrete block or the engine itself is producing less power and torque. The Red Bull Ring is punishing them for such low speeds. Last year, Leclerc took pole with a 103.003. This year he did a 103.923 in Q3, almost a full second slower. Vettel did a 103.6 in Q2 in 2019 and just 104.2 in 2020. That's 0.6 seconds slower. We can't compare Q3 times simply because he wasn't there. This drop in pace also applies to the two Ferrari customer teams, meaning the aerodynamic argument carried less weight. Alfa Romeo did a 141 with Kimi Räikkönen last year. This year both Alfas could only manage 151 and out in Q1. Their best time was a full second a lap slower. Haas did a 140 with Kevin Magnussen last season and 105.1 this year, 1.1 seconds a lap slower. In terms of top speeds, there's small differences for the others. Max Verstappen's speeds through the speed trap and the finishing line are 2 km down on last year, but his lap times are virtually identical to last year. Lewis Hamilton is up marginally by 2 to 3 km in terms of speeds, and his lap times have improved by 2 or 3 tenths. Lando Norris's McLaren is virtually identical in terms of speeds and up in terms of lap time. So there's consistency for the Mercedes, Honda and Renault power units, with any changes from last year explainable through aerodynamic changes and improvements. The three teams running Ferrari power have basically all lost a second a lap average since last season, and the chances of all three of the teams designing a car that's aerodynamically worse than last year, that's pretty slim. There is a theory that for at least last season, Ferrari found a way to tinker with their fuel flow to go beyond the 100 kg an hour limit. This is unproven, with the FIA sensors last year reading correctly as the reported trick Ferrari found was done after the sensor reading. As a result, all the data would have read correctly. Having analysed the engines over the winter break, the FIA said there's enough found to cast doubt on the claims of Ferrari's legality, saying the FIA was not fully satisfied but decided that further action would not necessarily result in a conclusive case. That's due to the complexity of the matter and the material impossibility to provide the unequivocal evidence of a breach. In its most basic terms, the FIA are saying that they know Ferrari were up to something, but lacked the technical know-how to actually prove they did it during a Grand Prix weekend. With technical directives handed down left, right and centre at the end of 2019 and the introduction of another fuel flow sensor for 2020, the trick Ferrari were allegedly pulling is no longer possible without detection. That's it from me for now. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow me on Twitter @ThomasMarr on F1.